If you want to learn how to make your own homemade bread, I have just the recipe for you. You're going to start off by adding 2 cups of warm water to your bowl. I use active dry yeast. That's what works best. I use a tablespoon of that, then I mix that together and wait until the yeast activates. This is what it looks like, and if it doesn't, restart. Then go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of oil, a 1/4 cup of sugar or honey, and about 2 teaspoons of salt. Then you're gonna add flour gradually. You don't wanna add it in all at once. I do all of this by hand, so I can usually tell by the texture of the dough when it needs more flour and when it doesn't. You're gonna want it to be springy, but not super dry, if that makes sense. I use about 5 to 5.5 cups of flour total. Once you get it to form a solid dough, you're gonna wanna knead it for 5 to 10 minutes. You know your dough is ready to be put in a bowl to rise when it's slightly tacky but not sticky. You don't want it to be sticky. Once you formed a solid dough, go ahead and oil up a bowl, place your dough in there and let it rise. This can take anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, depending on how warm your house is. Once it's risen, you're gonna punch it down, and this is when you can start to form your bread. I usually divide this dough in half. You can either make 2 loaves. I make 1 loaf and use the other half of the bread to make bagels. For your bread loaf, go ahead and oil up a loaf pan, roll your dough into a log, place it in there and let it rise a second time. Once it's doubled in size, place it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 35 minutes. And when it's nice and golden brown, go ahead and take it out of the pan and let it cool on a wire rack. This is the hardest part, but you should have made your first loaf of bread.